Welcome to Edge Unscripted. Listen along for candid conversations with the Edge marketing team on a variety of subjects in the world of PR and marketing and other topics that have our attention. Let's go off script.
Every company seems to have an AI announcement lately. AI powered this, AI driven that. But if everyone's making the same claim, how does that actually help buyers make a decision? So today we're talking about why trust, not AI itself, may be the thing that truly differentiates organizations. Welcome back to Edge Unscripted, where we explore marketing, communications, PR, biz dev across legal, accounting, tech, and other regulated businesses. I'm Vicki LaBrosse, Managing Director and Global Public Relations Director at Edge, and I'm joined today by my brilliant colleague, Tanya Amyote, our marketing strategist extraordinaire here at Edge. And Tanya recently wrote an article about why organizations need to move beyond simply saying that they use AI, instead focusing on building trust. Excellent topic to explore today. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. All right, Tanya, let's just dive in and tell me what inspires you to write on this topic.
Well, like you said, it's every day, every week, it seems, we see another press release come announcing companies' new AI capabilities, another website that has AI powered workflows, another product launch. And sooner or later, they all kind of start to sound interchangeable.
Sure do.
And it kind of reminded me of a few other things that we've seen. You know, everybody was talking about the cloud for a while. Everybody was talking about digital transformation and client centric. And eventually everybody uses the same language. And so those words don't mean anything anymore. It doesn't differentiate you anymore. And I feel like AI is just the latest example of that. So it's not even a matter of if you use AI anymore, because most of your buyers are already going to assume that you do these days.
True.
So the real question is, why should they trust you and your use of AI?
Right. That's a fair point. But do you think this is happening across every industry?
I do, especially in, like you said, regulated industries. AI is expected, and it's kind of a good thing because it means that the conversation is maturing. We're not just talking about what models we're using, we're talking about what it means on a bigger scale.
So in your article, you identify 4 pillars of trust. And the first pillar is transparency. So what does that mean?
So it's not necessarily that you're explaining every detail to your clients. They don't care what model you're using or what tool you're using. And you might not even want to share that level of detail with your client because you want to keep your secret sauce to yourself. And most buyers don't want to understand that model architecture. They want to know where the AI is being used, what problem it's going to solve, and most importantly, where the human remains involved and what safeguards are in place to make sure that you're not trusting the AI entirely, that there's still that human expert component and oversight.
Very important. I know at Edge, we recently instituted an AI policy, and you mentioned AI policies in your article. Why do you think they're becoming more common?
It's tangible. It's a tangible way of saying, yes, we acknowledge that we use this tool. Here's how we use it responsibly. And that AI policy tells you what that means. It tells your clients about your principles, again, where the human oversight fits in, what kind of AI you use in a broader term, and then sometimes just as importantly, what you don't use it for.
Well, transparency does help people understand your approach, but they also want to know who's going to be accountable. So one question that you ask is, who is responsible? Why is it becoming such an important question, I guess?
Because AI doesn't take accountability out of the equation. It might change how you do your work. It might change how your tasks are performed and how you're able to automate some of those tasks, but it doesn't change who's responsible for the outcome. It doesn't change whether you're writing content or analyzing contracts or developing software like a lot of our clients do. Clients just, they want to still know that there's an experienced expert that can stand behind the work.
That's so true. Human intelligence, I think, is more important than ever now.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about human judgment a lot at Edge as regarding AI. Where do you think human judgment matters the most?
Anytime that you're dealing with relationships, so as a global PR person, you know that your relationships with with members of the media and other people in the industry, those are where things, that's, as they say, where the rubber hits the road. Those are the important things.
Absolutely.
Hmm. So
Absolutely.
AI is great at helping us get those tasks done, helping us work faster, but it's not as good at understanding nuance, context, and judgment. That's still where the human experts come in.
Yes. And another point that you make that I don't hear discussed very often is accessibility. So why did accessibility make your list?
As you know, accessibility is kind of my thing. It's very important in many different aspects of my life. And responsible AI is not just about risk, it's about opportunity. So AI has enormous potential to improve accessibility, whether that's through captions on videos and transcriptions, populating alternate text on images, plain language summaries of brochures and images, and just making all of that information easier to find, and that those are meaningful improvements for real people.
Absolutely. Do you think there's a flip side?
Yes. Organizations also need to ask whether their AI experiences are accessible themselves. Are they making things easier? Are they accidentally creating new barriers? Those are important things to think about too.
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes the best use of AI isn't flashy. It's just about helping somebody successfully navigate your website or understand your content.
Hmm.
That I think brings us to the biggest takeaway from your article. You say that buyers don't want more claims, they want evidence. And we preach that to our clients as well. So, what does
Hmm.
evidence look like?
Show me the receipts. Show
Show
me
me the
the
money.
receipts. Show me the money. It's all the things that happen outside your own marketing. So, your clients' stories and testimonials, any speaking engagements that you're involved in if you're holding a session at an event, analyst recognition, educational content, thought leadership case studies, all those kinds of things where it's not just you saying what you do, it's other people vouching for their experiences with you or you as an expert and how they have that trust with you.
Absolutely. Credibility is
Hmm.
something that is so underrated and people often neglect. So I'm
Hmm.
glad that you definitely highlighted that point. And why do you
Hmm.
think it is becoming so important now?
It's changing. AI is changing how buyers research companies. They're not just going to your website. They're not Googling, they're typing it into Google and then seeing what the AI populates. So it's not, they're not just looking at your website anymore. They're getting their information from all across the web. And organizations investing in thought leadership and earned media, they're creating the signals that AI systems can actually find and synthesize and return when people are doing those searches.
Yeah, it's like those restaurant reviews. You trust what other diners almost always say, and as the restaurant and what the restaurant actually says about itself,
Yeah.
instead of just going and checking it out, right? Being the
Hmm.
human. So, what do you think that marketers should do differently?
I think if you look at, say, you're writing a press release, you want to remove the words AI powered from your messaging just in your head. Would you still have something important to say? Would you still have something meaningful to say that's going to be meaningful to other people, to the client that you're wanting to reach? If the answer is no, then maybe you need to go deeper, talk about the outcomes, the process, the people, the responsibility, and that's where the trust is going to come from.
And on the flip side of that, what do you think is one thing marketers should stop doing?
This is going to be a hot take. I think we should stop assuming that AI itself is the story because most of the time it isn't. The story is how you're using AI to solve problems in a real responsible way and how that can make your company, product, service more efficient.
Where do you see all of this heading, do you think?
Um We don't, like I said earlier, we don't advertise that a software uses databases anymore. We don't advertise that it uses the cloud anymore. We just assume that that's the case because that's the standard. So we focus on results and client experience, and organizations that consistently communicate those things, they're going to be the buyers that they're going to be the one that the buyer's going to remember.
So if listeners remember just one thing from our little chat today, what would you want that to be?
I think that anybody that's been in the marketing world or in the business world, period, knows that trust has always been kind of the foundation of good marketing, and AI hasn't changed any of that. And if anything, it's made it more important. Companies aren't going to stand out just because they're talking about AI the loudest. The ones that are going to have their message heard are the ones that are consistently demonstrating those 4 pillars that we talked about and the real evidence that they're worthy of the prospective client's confidence.
Well, that is all very wonderful advice. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with our listeners and the market at large. And if all of you would like to read Tanya's article in full, you can visit Edge Marketing's website on our Insights page to access that. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to Edge Unscripted for more conversations with industry leaders and our brilliant coworkers and colleagues about marketing, communications, and business strategy. So thank you all for joining us. And thank you again, Tanya.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
This has been Edge Unscripted. We appreciate you joining us and hope you enjoyed the conversation. Connect with us by leaving a comment and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.